Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey with us. One big beautiful family. By hitting that subscription button, it's free for everyone. No one's charging you for anything, so it's just a way to help us creators to continue on with these tutorials. And please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. Most of the time I use a 2.75 hook or 3.5, depending on the project that I'm working on and how big I want it to go. If you have a tight tension, use a 2-size hook bigger than your normal so your patterns don't curve. If you're too loose, then go a size or 2 smaller on your hook so it doesn't become too flabby and messy. I also would like to mention I do have a private crochet group. If you're interested to join, you're more than welcome, as long as you have a profile. I also have Instagram and TikTok. If you're stuck in projects and you need help, you could always message me through there. It's much faster for me to answer you or show me your product, what's going on, or where you're going wrong on it. You can take a picture and send it me through there, because YouTube does not accept that. Most of you already know that. I also have a Facebook group page, I should say. You can follow me through there also. I want to thank again from the bottom of my heart to all of you that have been helping women in need of thread. And for some of you that are considering, please do so. You could either donate through below the video. There's a little bag that says thank you. You can drop in there whatever amount you'd like. It's, you know, we don't have a specific order of an amount that you have to donate. You can do whatever you'd like. Anything counts and it helps, and I thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to get started, and please, if you can share the video, sharing is caring. It helps tremendously to have more people recognize the channel and become part of this wonderful family. Thank you, everyone. Let's get started. Okay, everyone, so today we're going to create another table runner. And with this table runner, you can increase as many patterns onto it for the length you want. Here I have 2 patterns that I've sewed. At the end we sew them together, and it makes a beautiful table runner. So you can use whatever colors you want. You can use mixed colors by starting in the middle, do 1 or 2 rows with a different color, then at the end you can finish with the same color. It's up to you. I'm using this wineish burgundy red. I'll be using a 2.75 hook, a small needle to sew the patterns together, and a small hook to tuck in loose ends, and of course a pair of scissors. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. It helps the channel, and please give a thumbs up on the video. It's extremely important. I'm sorry for the noise of construction going around the house, so apologize for that. So these are 2 patterns individual, as you can see here. This one has all of these motifs. That's the edge. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's call them paddles. So we have 9 paddles. And the center one, that's where you can keep adding more of this. You have 3 paddles on one side and 3 on the other. That means we have to leave the 2 sides here open in order to sew them onto the edge one. Okay, so this is very simple, very fast, and very economic on thread also. So let's get started, everyone. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how you like it, and if you're creating it and you're part of the group, post it up. The women love to see everyone's work. Okay, thank you so much. And of course, I forgot to mention, you can go as wide as you'd like by increasing on those petals more rows, okay? So I'm just going to, I didn't want to make it big since this is just for the tutorial purpose. So there was no point of keep going. I think I have it until there's 6 double crochets on the last row. 2, 4, 6, yes. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is that magic circle. If you can't do a 5 to 4 to 5 chain. We don't want a big hole in the center. You should know already that if your tension is too tight, use a size or 2 bigger on your hook. So I'm coming in with the slip stitch and again a single and 2 chain. This is my first double crochet. I'm going to come back in and in 1 chain space. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do another double crochet, 1 chain space. We are going to do 12 double crochets. Let me just confirm there. So 1 chain space between the double crochet. So I'll have a total of 12 double crochets. Okay, this is row 1. I've reached the end of my 12 double crochets. I've done my chain, 1 chain space. I'm coming in my second chain from the first one. I went up with a single and 2 chain, and I'm closing it in with a slip stitch. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to start again a double crochet. So single, 2 chain. That's my double crochet. 2 chain space. I'm coming directly on top of the double crochet and creating a double crochet. Chain 2, next space. Double crochet, which is right on top of the double crochet. Chain 2, and again. So we're working on top of the double crochet from row 1 with chain 2 space between them. We should have 12 double crochets. So I've done my last double crochet. I'm doing 2 chain. I have my single and my 2 chain. I'm coming in the second chain from the first one I've started. I'm going to come inside of my 2 chain space with a single and chain 2. I'm going to do 2 more for space. Inside of the space, I'm going to create V's. Okay, I'm coming directly into the next space, double crochet, 2 chain, and 1 more double crochet on the same space. So we're creating these little V's. Coming directly again, double crochet, 2 chain, and 1 more double crochet. So we're going to do these V's all the way to the end. This is row 3. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I've done my 12 V's inside of the 2 chain space. Remembering that when you're going from one space to the next, there is no chain space. The space is only between the V inside of the space. So I'm coming in my V now with a single, 1, 2 chain. I'm going to create shell of 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet in the same space. So I have my first shell. I'm going to do, let me see, 1 chain space. I'm coming into the next and creating again another shell. 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet in the same space. If your stitch is too loose, don't do any chain space between shells. Just go directly. Okay? So I'm going to build 5 groups of shell. I'll come back to you on my 5th one. Okay, so we created 5 groups, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, just want to remind you that this is the middle part that we are creating now, okay? Not the edge. The edge has more paddles. So once you have your 5 groups of shell, I'm going to do 1 chain, and I'm coming in the next space and create 2 double crochet only. 1 chain, I'm coming in the next space and I'm creating those 5 shells again. They have to be opened from one side and the other in order to attach them, right? So basically we're creating these groups here, and obviously we'll create here also to have the other side of the pattern, the edge, attach onto here. So in this case, this will be attached onto here. So I'll have 2 motifs here in the middle. It's long enough. And then the edge to finish it off. Okay. So very simple. Just put this there. So we'll create again 5 groups of shells. And then again, we'll do the same thing as we did here, remembering that what you do on one side, you must do on the other. 1 chain. Come in, create your shell into the next space. 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet, 1 chain space, and again, create your shell. So we're going to have 5 groups again, like we did on this side. Okay, so as you see here, after we did that group of 2, we started with a shell 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means we have to create the other 2 double crochet for this side. So 1 chain, and then 2 double crochet only. 1 chain, and we close it on our shell there. Okay, so this will always be 2. We keep increasing on these double crochets. I'm going to do the walk to the center of the shell. Shells will always stay shell. 1, 2 chain. So create our shell, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet in the same space in order to have our shell. Now this time we're going to do 2 chain space, coming in the next one, and create again our shell. So we'll have our 5 shells just the same, exactly how we did here, with 2 chain space between them. So I've done my 5 shell, 3, 4, 5, 1 chain only. On this space here where we created the 2 double crochet groups, we do only 1 chain on each side. Here is the 2 chain, okay? So 1 chain. I'm coming in that first space and doing 2 double crochets only. We're increasing on here. 1 chain. All the way through is always 1 chain on both sides, okay? So we start with 1 group. Now we have 2 groups, 1 chain, and doing our shell again. After we do this shell, we do the 2 chain space, okay? 1, 2, and come in and create again your shell. So we'll have 5 shells again. When you get here, you have to do 1 chain space only on this shell, coming in to do your group, and then 1 chain and your second group, exactly how we did here. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. Okay, just to make sure that after you have done your 5 groups, 1 chain, okay, and now you create your 2 double crochets, 1 chain, in next space your 2 double crochets again, 1 chain only, and close it in. Do the walk and create your shell. Okay, 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet. So I created my first shell. Now we're going to change a bit here. Okay, we're going to start doing front posts. So I'm going to do 1 chain only, coming in my 2 chain space, and I'm going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, coming into my shell, and proceed again with my shell. 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 double crochet. So I have my second shell, 1 chain. This is going to be like this until the end of the pattern now, okay? Always having 1 double crochet here. 1 chain, and create your shell. This will be the same thing on the other side. Create your shells, 1 chain, and 1 double crochet inside of the 2 chain space. Okay, so we have one more to do. One chain, double crochet, one chain, and your last shell. Remembering that it's always one chain space to create these groups of 2 double crochet. We keep increasing on them, one chain into the next space, 2 double crochet, one chain, and again one chain, and create your shells again. You must do the shell and one chain, your 1 double crochet in between shells. One chain, double crochet, one chain, and create your shell again. So whatever you do on one side, you must do on the other. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, row 6. Okay, you guys, so I finished this side also. Now, we're going into row 7. Row 7 is going to change again. And I just want to tell you, now that we're creating the middle piece, obviously it's got those 2 openings on both sides. But with the edge, it's only 1 opening, so that means all of this will have those shells, okay? Now, on these, and they're both created the same way at the beginning. On these shells, here on the pattern, so we have 1, 2, 3 row with 2 double crochets. Then we're going to start now this row 7, the increase, okay? This is how your pattern keeps going bigger. So we are doing the first shell of 3, and then next row 4, 5, 6, okay? But we're putting on the last double crochet 2 inside of the space, 2 chain, and 2 more, and then 1 on top of the double crochet. So you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is where I stop, but you can go 7, 8, 9, 10, the length or the width that you would like to be. If you want to go bigger, this is where you increase. You keep increasing by there, okay? And the same thing, of course, at the edge, you have to have the same amount in order to sew both patterns together. But the thing is here, before I forget, so at the beginning here, when we do these, it's 2 double crochets at the beginning and 2 at the end on these shells, okay? They stay the same all the way to the end of your pattern. It's only the next ones that have the increases, okay? The ones next to the groups, the first shell and the last shell of the groups are always 2 double crochet and no increase, okay? The increase is on the other ones. That means 1, 2, 3 increase, and then 1, 2, 3 increase on the other side, okay? Just to make sure that you don't get mixed up. So we know that this last one is increase from here. No increase, that means single. We're doing those 2 double crochet shells only, okay? So here and here, before the groups and the last one of the groups, 2 double crochet only, 1 chain. Coming from the back to the front, we're doing front post, 1 chain, and now, and now we're going to start to do the increase. So we are coming in the second double crochet with double crochet, 2 inside of the chain space, and then 2 chain, 2 double crochet, and 1 on top of the double crochet. 1 chain, coming from behind to the front, we're doing front post. 1 chain. If you want to go over and not do front post, you can. So double crochet on top of double crochet and 2 inside. So on this row 7, we have 3 double crochets instead of 2. on the 3 paddles, okay, on each side, of course. Okay, so you'll have here, here, and here, and then you know that your last one is only 2 double crochet. We keep following up the same way as we started here. Okay, so I'm going to do that and come back to you again. Okay, so I've done my increase on the 3 paddles, and the last one is only 2. Remember that we have 5 paddles, so only 3 is the increase. The last and the first is only 2 double crochet. Create my 1 chain, my group of 2 double crochet, and continue again with double crochet. Let me tell you, everything is echo in my place here. If the neighbor behind me, beside me, in front of me is doing something, it's like they're like right here doing it. That's how crazy it echoes in this place. Anyway, and I apologize for that, but if I don't do this every day, there's no action. I'll never put videos out, and that's unfortunately how it goes. So shell of 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 groups on row 7, okay, and then the rest, of course, 1 chain. You do your front post again and proceed the same way again. 1 chain into the last double crochet here and start your increase. So you should have 3 double crochet. Next row we're going to do the same thing, always skipping the first double crochet and the last, and that's how we're going to do our increase also. 2 chain, 2 double crochet, and 1 on top of the first double crochet. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so on to row 8. So I've started already my 2 double crochet shell. That's always at the beginning and the last one. 1 chain, and again, front post. Like I said, if you don't want to do front post, you can do right on top of the double crochet. 1 chain, and coming in with my increase. So skipping always the first double crochet and the last double crochet. So you should have 4 double crochets on this row 8. So 2 inside of the space in the middle of your shell, and 1 per double crochet. Not doing the first, not doing the last. And then continuing again, 1 chain and your front post. We're going to continue to do this until we have 10 rows. That means you should have 7. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. You should have 7 groups on your 10th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll meet you at the end of my 10th row. Now it's just a repeat and increase, always skipping the first and the last. Here is always a shell of 2 double crochet before the groups and on the last one. And I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so I've created my 10 rows, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. I think last time that I recorded, just before here, I think I mentioned there was 4 on row 7, but that was, or 4 on row 8, but that was row 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So row 4, we start with 1 group. Row 5, 2 groups. Row 6, 3 groups. Row 7, 4 groups. Row 8, 5 groups. Row 9, 6 groups. And row 10, 7 groups. Now, cut a bit longer your thread, especially when you're doing this centerpiece, because you need to sew it on to the other side. So I'm just going to pull my thread through it because I don't want it to run anywhere. And I'm going to put this aside. Now we're going to create the edge, okay, which is basically the same thing. The only difference is we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 petals. And then, of course, it stays the same, the 2 double crochet shells, okay, on both sides. And then everything else is different. You could always increase more on that middle piece, for your length. So again, you'd start your magic circle, your 5 chain. If you're doing the chain stitch, I'm going to do 1 chain to secure, come back in, single, 2 chain, and 1 more for space. Create my 12 double crochets. Double crochet, 1 chain. Double crochet, 1 chain. Exactly the same thing as we did with the other one. 12 double crochets. So I've done my 12 double crochets. I'm coming back in, doing my single, my 2 chain for double crochet, and 2 more for space. Coming into the next one, the double crochet, creating my double crochet. 2 chain space into the next double crochet, 2 double crochet. So it's just a repeat exactly what we just done on the other one. So we're going to create it all the way around on top of the double crochet from the first row and 2 chain space between them. So now we are going to row 3, create those V's. So I'm coming in my 2 chain space, single, 2 chain, and 2 more for space. Coming back in, creating my first V, coming directly into the next space, double crochet, 2 chain into the same space, creating my V again. So between V's, there is no chain space, only when you're creating your V that you have the 2 chain space. Okay, so you should have 12 V's. Okay, so finished row 3, going to row 4, coming into the center of my V, double crochet, coming again and doing my shells of 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 more double crochet, 1 chain space going into the next V, 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet. So we're going to do 9 shells. Oops, I have to do my 1 chain space. 9 shells. Okay, so we're on the 3rd shell. One chain, so create your 9 shells. And I apologize for calling out 9 shells. It's 11 shells because these 2 stay the same as 2, and then the rest is the increase, which is the 9. So it's 11 shells and not 9 shells. That's why it's always good to look ahead of the videos, because sometimes mistakes can be done, like calling out like I did. So 1 chain, we're repeating the same thing, the 2 double crochet, 1 chain, and closing it in. So we know that this side is going to be that flat side. So I'm doing the walk. So you know that the first and the last group here stays the same with only 2 double crochets. All the way to the end, okay? But remember, we have 3 rows of these to do. So chain 2, chain 2. Yes, chain 2, and coming into the next shell. And create your shells. We have 3 rows of these. So the next one will have the double crochet there in the center. Chain 2, and create your 11 shells. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of my row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've created my 11 shells, 1 chain coming in and creating my 2 double crochets, 1 chain, and 2 more double crochets, 1 chain, and close it off. Do the walk, as I call it, with a slip stitch to the center of that shell. Create your shell of 2 double crochet. That always stays the same. 1 chain, 1 double crochet in the center, 1 chain, and again double crochets. Next row we start the increase on the 9 petals, okay, because the 10 and the 11 shell stays the same, right? Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so now we're going to start this row of the increase on the petals like we did with the other one. So this stays the same, this shell here, 2 double crochet, 2 chain, and 2 more double crochet, 1 chain, front post. So everything else stays the same now, and skipping the first double crochet, coming into the second, and start doing our increases on the shell. Two inside of this middle space and 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 chain, front post, and again repeat the same thing, just remembering that when you get to the last shell number 11, it stays 2 double crochet. Okay, 11 and 12 is 2 double crochet, and all rest of the 9 is the increase. So we're going to repeat the same thing as we did with the other pattern all the way, and this stays the same and this shell stays the same. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. We need 10 rows exactly the same way so we can attach both patterns together. So now it's just increase on the groups until you have 7 groups on your row 10. Repeat the same thing as we did with the other one. The only difference is we're only doing groups on one side to do the attachment, and then the other one's going to attach it over on the other side. Okay, and that's how it is. That's why you can increase either on here for the wideness and on the middle for the length. So I'll meet you at the end of mine once I have my 10 rows done, because it's just a repeat now. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much finished doing my last row, and I've cut in a good length of string to attach my my pattern. So where we left the string on the middle piece, I'm just going to hook it onto my needle, if I can find it somewhere. So I'm going to put front part with front part, and I'm going to line it up properly, stitch with stitch, where we have the normal shell, okay, of the 2 double crochets. So we're going to start on there. So I'm going to grab the front loop of the back pattern. So I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to use the closest to each other, so not the front ones or that back one, so the one right in front. And on this front pattern I don't touch it, so I'm coming in the back and the front, okay, on each stitch. So the front and the back, okay, just back and forth like that on each, to make sure that you're lined up properly. You don't want to have your pattern crooked, okay? So just back and forth, very simple, all the way through. And then you're going to do this all the way until the first 2 double crochets. We don't do the 2 chain here, okay? So I'll meet you at the end. You guys, so pretty much stitched on until the double crochets, okay? And now I'm going to do the other side, which you would do exactly the same thing. Do front with front, right side with right side, I should say. And then just sew in again. So make sure that when you're sewing, you nibble them up straight, and then grab. We have 2 loops here. Grab this one and the first one, this one and the first one. So always one stays behind, okay? Try to have them the right way. So the first one here and the back one here. The first one here and the back one. Okay, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so pretty much have them all added on. Very easy. Now, you can leave it as is, and like I said, you can go bigger on here, more rows, and have your pattern larger, or you can add more on the center pieces and have it more length. You can also go around. You can leave it this way or go around, and you can do singles all the way around, or you can do just one row. But when you get here, you do just, 2 or 3 double crochet in the center and just continue to do the same way. I'm going to leave it as is, and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I will have the little video at the end and some pictures. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like the video, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and please share. Sharing is caring. Invite your friends and family to be part of this journey with me. It helps the channel. Thank you so much. I send you much love and much hugs. Until next time, everyone. Bye-bye.